All right, let's dive into a fascinating, kind of weird puzzle about the human mind. It's something you've almost certainly felt yourself. It's all about confidence, expertise, and the strange reason why those two things often don't seem to line up at all.
So, here it is, the big question. Why is it that the most competent, most knowledgeable people so often feel like they're totally clueless? Meanwhile, you've got other folks with way less skill who seem absolutely unshakably confident. It feels completely backward, right? Well, today, we're going to unravel this mystery, one clue at a time.
You know, to solve this paradox, we actually have to start by looking at the complete opposite phenomenon. So our first clue is all about understanding what's going on at the very tippy top of unearned overconfidence.
And that brings us to this really famous idea in psychology, the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's a cognitive bias, and it basically says this. To be good at something, you need the skills to do it, but you also need those exact same skills to know how good you are. So when you don't have those skills, you're not just bad at the task, you're also blissfully unaware of how bad you are.
It really just boils down to this simple, kind of dangerous illusion. The less you know, the more you think you know. Imagine you're standing on a tiny little hill, and you think you're on Mount Everest. Why? Because you just can't see the massive mountain range that's sitting right beyond your very limited view.
Okay, so that explains the overconfidence part. But what about the experts? You know, the people who are actually standing on the mountain. Let's move on to our second clue and see how this all connects. We're talking about the complete flip side of the coin, the wisdom of doubt.
And this leads us to a concept called intellectual humility. Now let's be super clear here. This is not about having low self-esteem. Not at all. It's actually a form of higher level thinking. It's this deep awareness that your knowledge has a border and that your beliefs could actually be wrong. Honestly, it's the superpower of being able to see what you don't know.
And this quote just captures that feeling perfectly. Every new thing you learn doesn't just fill in a blank space, it opens up a dozen new questions you didn't even know you were supposed to ask. It's like as your island of knowledge gets bigger, you become way more aware of the huge, vast ocean of ignorance all around it.
So let's just put these two ideas side by side for a second. With the Dunning-Kruger effect, having low competence leads to this massive overestimation of your own skill. But with intellectual humility, having high competence leads to an accurate assessment and a much more measured, thoughtful confidence. It's a complete 180.
So, what is it? What's the mental tool that lets a person move from one side of this chart to the other? Well, that brings us to the hidden mechanism driving this whole thing, the crucial skill of reflection.
It's called cognitive reflection. A good way to think about it is like an internal pause button for your brain. It's that ability to stop your first easy gut reaction answer from just taking over. And instead, you step back, you question it, and you start a much more careful, deliberate analysis. It's that little voice in your head that goes, hang on a second, is that really right?
And here's pretty much how it works. First, you face a problem, and your brain immediately spits out a quick, easy answer. The key, the whole magic trick, is in step 2. You resist it. You don't just accept it. Instead, you move on to step 3, where you start questioning your own assumptions and actively go looking for more information. This is the engine that drives real intellectual growth.
Okay, so let's bring all our clues together. We've got the overconfidence of the novice, the measured doubt of the experts, and that reflective skill that separates the two. And all of this leads us to the final resolution and, hopefully, a completely new way for you to look at yourself.
And this, right here, is the most important thing to take away from all of this. That nagging feeling of self-doubt, that little voice telling you that you just don't know enough, that is not a sign that you're a failure or some kind of imposter. More often than not, it's the exact opposite. It's the price you pay for genuine expertise. It's a sign that you know enough to actually appreciate how complex your field really is. So what can you do with this in your own life? Here's your new toolkit. Instead of trying to fight that feeling of doubt, try reframing it. See it as a sign of your growing awareness. And get really, really comfortable with 3 of the most powerful words for learning. I don't know. Always remember, true expertise doesn't make things simpler. It shows you all their hidden complexity. It's all about learning to value that quiet humility over loud, unearned confidence.
So, I'll just leave you with this one last thought to reflect on. Look back at your career, your education, your hobbies, whatever. Can you think of a time when that feeling of doubt wasn't a weakness, but it was actually the thing that pushed you to learn more, to double-check everything, and, in the end, to actually succeed? When was your doubt your greatest strength?